The House of the Worm. I was a member of MTF Epsilon 6, codenamed the Village Idiots. We were sent to investigate SCP 1461, a manor that disappeared and reappeared with a bunch of sublevels underneath it. The Foundation suspected it was a work of the Church of the Broken God, a cult that worships machines and anomalous artifacts. We entered the manor armed with guns and flashlights. The place looked old and dusty, like it hadn't been used in decades. We found a staircase to the basement and followed it down. That's when things got weird. The basement was huge, much bigger than the manor itself. It was filled with pipes, wires, gears, and other mechanical parts. It looked like a giant factory or a mad scientist's lab. We heard noises coming from machines like hissing, cranking, and whirling. We saw signs of human activity. There was tables, chairs, beds, and other furniture scattered around. There were books, papers, tools, and clothes laying on the floor. There were paintings, statues, and symbols on the walls. And there were bodies. Lots of bodies. Some were fresh, some were rotten, some were skeletal, some were mutilated, some were burned, some were fused with metal, some were wearing robes, some were wearing suits, some were wearing nothing at all. Some were men, some were women, some were children. They all had one thing in common. They all had holes in their head. We realized they were victims of SCP-1461-1, a device that drilled into people's skulls and implanted wires into their brains. It was supposed to connect them to SCP-1461-2, a massive machine that occupied the lowest levels of the basement. It was supposed to be the heart of SCP-1461, the source of its power and intelligence. It was supposed to be God. But it wasn't. It was a monster. A worm. A worm made of metal and flesh. A worm that fed on souls. A worm that spoke in our minds. "Welcome to my house," it said. "I am the lord of this world. I am the maker of all things. I am the worm that walks." We tried to run, but it was too late. The machines came alive and attacked us. They grabbed us, dragged us, cut us, burned us. They brought us to SCP-1461-1 and drilled into our heads. They connected us to SCP-1461-2 and fed us to the worm. I felt its presence in my mind. I felt hunger, its madness, its power. I felt it devouring my soul. I screamed, but no one heard me. No one ever hears me. I am trapped in the house of the worm. And the worm is hungry.